Hey guys, welcome to Game Informed Family. This is Game Informed Mom. On the screen right now is a time to skip ahead to if you do not want to see the ending of the game. I'm playing through the alternate ending of the game here before we get into our review. Again, skip if you don't want to see the other ending. So after the ending, we will go ahead and get into our review of The Bunker, which is an FMV on the PS4. Hopefully you guys stick around or skip ahead to see that. I will rejoin you guys that are skipping here in a moment, and otherwise, if you're sticking around, enjoy the alternate ending. Alright guys, welcome back. So we are right before our decision to stay or leave, and here it is. So we left in the playthrough, so we're going to go ahead and stay. And like I said, we will go ahead and start the review once we see what this is.
Good boy.
Okay. That was somewhat anticlimactic, if you ask me. But yeah, no, so that was the other option. Alright, so let's get into it, guys. So during the 90s, with the rise of the CD-ROM, FMV games started showing up on these new CD-based consoles. They were a fad. The novelty of an interactive movie wore off rather quickly, and the entire genre just faded into obscurity just as fast as it came on the scene. Now, in recent years, the occasional FMV game has popped up from time to time, and The Bunker from Wales Interactive is one such game. It came out in 2016 for PlayStation 4, Windows, Mac, and Xbox One. And then they released it in 2018 on the Nintendo Switch. So, we're going to take a look today and make a determination if this is just a novelty from a long-forgotten era that should still be long forgotten, or if it's something that you should go ahead and check out. Now, full disclosure, prior to playing this game, I had never played an FMV. Never. At all. So this was a very strange experience for me, but I've tried to take that into account with my review. Now, I've played point and clicks, but just not an FMV. It is very different. So that being said, let's go ahead and address the easy issues, or categories rather, the easy categories, because they're not all issues. Let's address the easy stuff first, and let's just get it out of the way. The easiest one, graphics. Absolutely a non-issue, because this is literally a live-action movie with real-life actors that has been spliced up and made into an interactive quote-unquote game. Next, I want to talk about controls. So controls are pretty easy as far as, you know, what I want to say about them. They're very limited. You point and you click. You have a couple of points of interest on the screen. You click it, and a movie plays showing your character doing the action that you chose for him to do. That being said, the controls are definitely not optimized for console users. They leave a lot to be desired on console. You're forced to use the left stick to move your cursor around, which is fine for the point and click stuff. It's not a big deal. But it's absolutely horrendous for the QTEs, for the QuickTime events. They really should have mapped those QTEs to the face buttons. Now, there aren't many that actually matter, Most of them can either be ignored or failed, and it's irrelevant, but a few of them you do actually end up starting the chapter over, or going back to a checkpoint. It's awful. Next, I want to talk about the acting. So, most people, when they hear FMV, they think of Night Call. Night Call was a horrible, horrible little FMV game with horrible, horrible acting. Well, I don't know that it was a horrible game. Honestly, I've never played it, as mentioned. But it conjures up a certain type of acting that we all know to be in Night Call. And that's not the case here. You play as John, who's portrayed by Adam Brown, who, if I'm not mistaken, was a dwarf in The Lord of the Rings. He was definitely in The Lord of the Rings. I think he was a dwarf. He does an excellent job with the role, as does Sarah Greene, who plays your mother, another actual actor. I can't for the life of me remember what she was in now, but she did voice a character in Assassin's Creed either 3 or 4. I found conflicting information on that. Some places said 3, other places said 4, and I didn't look up the character's name to see which one she was actually in. But overall, I mean, the acting is definitely on the higher end of like a psychological thriller movie, and far better than anything in the horror genre. Well, not anything, but most things in the horror genre. It's definitely high quality acting. So that's the easy stuff. Now I want to talk about collectibles. Oh, the collectibles. Oh, how I hate collectibles. Now, the collectibles in this game, as hard as it is for me to admit it, were not terrible. And I say that with one caveat. If you miss one, just one, you have to play through most, if not all, of the game to get the associated trophy or achievement. Now, the books that you saw, that I read to Mother there, those are easy. You can get all 3 of those in the first, 10, maybe 15 minutes of the game. No problem if you miss those. But the rest take way longer. The collectibles are not cumulative through the playthroughs. The computers and documents that you have to read, which there are quite a few of, they actually add to the backstory, though. So I don't mind those. I'm okay with those. It sucks that if you miss it, you have to play through the entire game to get not only the one that you missed, but every other one as well. That sucked. But, okay. The toys that you find, it's a cute little collectible. There's only 10 of them, and really only 1 or 2 of them are hard to spot, and if you know that they're in that area, you know to look for them. They're not that bad. The other collectible, the puzzle piece. If you miss the puzzle piece in the first 10 minutes of the game, you have to go start the game over, do the action for that puzzle piece, and then it will spawn at the end of the game with you can't have but 10 or 15 minutes left when you find that stupid puzzle piece. But if you didn't interact with the missing puzzle piece originally, I mean in the beginning of the game, it won't spawn. Oh, I was so mad because I didn't interact with it on my first playthrough. Oh, so mad. But it's okay. The collectibles suck. They're not that bad, but because of that, they suck. Beyond the collectibles, I want to talk about the puzzles really quick. This actually probably should have been with the easy categories because this is easy. All the puzzles are simple, stupid simple. There were a couple of points where I didn't understand what the game wanted me to do because I couldn't find the point of interest right in front of my face. But other than that, the puzzles are a breeze. So, the gameplay. The gameplay is so limited by the FMV genre. You do almost nothing in the way of gameplay. I mean, literally, point, click, watch, repeat. Ad nauseum for 3 hours. The gameplay isn't fun. And I think that has a lot to do with the FMV format, but it just isn't fun. You need something fun in a game. So, okay, there's one more thing I want to talk about. It really doesn't fit into any of the other categories very well. It's unskippable scenes. All of the scenes are unskippable. Like, the scenes where you're just walking from one spot to another. The scene that you've already seen because this is your second playthrough because you missed the puzzle piece. They're all unskippable. Every single one of them. That irritated me so bad. I mean, I pushed every button on my controller to try and skip the scenes that I had already seen. I was so frustrated. So I'm like almost 9 minutes into my second playthrough in the video that's playing behind my talking. And that's where you have to hit that puzzle piece. This is my second playthrough that's recorded here. That puzzle piece, that missing puzzle piece at the top of this picture, caused me to have to play this game all the way through to the ending again. I was so beyond mad. I almost didn't get the platinum because I didn't want to play through it again, because it was that crappy. Okay, back to the review. I feel like the scenes, some of the scenes anyway, were almost broken up specifically so that I could touch a button, or so that I could do a quick time event. It felt, I don't know what the word is. It felt, it felt unnatural, is what I feel like it was. It just, unnecessary and unnatural. Okay, so the next thing I want to address is actually, I think, something that gives people a false idea of what this game actually is. The PlayStation Store calls this an action horror game. It is neither. At all. We just talked about gameplay. Point, click, watch, repeat. For 3 hours. That is not action. That is so far from the truth, it is not even funny. So, people are buying this game thinking that they're getting, I mean, yes, it's an FMV, but they're thinking there's going to be some kind of action, and there's not. Horror, also not a word that comes to mind when describing The Bunker. Psychological thriller, at most, but not horror. And the movie itself is not really, there's not a lot of action, so you can't even say, oh, well, they said action because of what happens in the movie. No. Just, no. Wrong. So, I'm gonna use that to segue into the story. So for this game to be saved, the story really just needs to be killer. Because the gameplay is not gonna push this game over the edge. So, does the story make up for the game's shortfalls? No, not in the least. I mean, like, not at all. You're funny, though. You're funny for thinking that. So, short story breakdown here. Very, like, glossed over. Not terribly spoilerific. You play as John, a man who was born in this bunker in England after a nuclear war. You've been there for more than 30 years. You've never been outside. When you were born, there were 58 people. You were number 59 in the bunker. So, throughout the story, you learn what happened to these other people, because when you flash forward to, now, it shows the population of the bunker is now 1. Just you, because Mum is dead. You read to Mum died, she's dead, it's you. So, you slowly learn what happened to them, and it's mildly interesting, and admittedly, what happened is not what I expected. I mean, like, where it kind of led, where I thought it was leading was not what happened. I won't go into much more because I don't want to spoil the story for anyone who is brave enough to buy this and play it. But it's meh at best. I mean, on a good day, it's meh. So, I think part of the problem is that the game doesn't know what it wants to be. Does it want to be a horror game? A horror movie, I guess? Does it want to be a psychological thriller? I don't know. It didn't know. It wasn't pleasant. And even beyond that, I feel like there was content that either was left out but should have been left in, or that it was just bad story writing to begin with. I don't know which one, but there's no reason to even like want to know what happens next at a certain point. And like the guy on the thumbnail, the big scary guy with the gas mask and the axe. Oh, he's in the movie. I don't know. He's in it though. But like you see that and you think, oh cool, this is gonna be like a slasher, it's gonna be like, old like 80s, Friday the 13th. Yeah, no, don't expect that. Because that's not what you're gonna get. At all. He's in it, but I don't think he killed anyone with the axe. I could be mistaken, but I don't think anyone actually died to the axe at all. I'm trying to think back and see if there was something that happened before what happened. But yeah, no. That's not what the movie's about. It's not about the guy with the axe. I was disappointed. So, speaking about the guy with the axe, let's talk about the atmosphere of the game. Okay, so that guy would make a good horror movie killer, right? Well, no, that's not what happens in this game. The atmosphere that this game... No, that's not what I want to say. The atmosphere for a horror game or a horror movie is different than what we were... than the story that we were given. That's what I want to say. The atmosphere we were given doesn't match the story we were given. There we go. See, I knew it would come to me. The story we were given is very much psychological thriller, very much, and not even a great psychological thriller at that, but the atmosphere says horror movie. I mean, they're pounding home that, man, there's this guy in the bunker, and he's got a gas mask and an axe, and then you find out what really happens there, and that's so anticlimactic. It was disappointing. So, if the story had been good enough, that atmosphere could possibly have pushed the story along and kind of made up for some of the shortfalls. But it didn't. It didn't. I mean, with the right story, that atmosphere would have been able to hammer home just a good experience, and it didn't at all. Not at all. So, all right. Let's wrap this up. All right. Is this game worth a buy? $20 on the PSN, $19.99 on PlayStation 4. I didn't check the Xbox One price. I'm assuming it's either the same price as the PlayStation or the same price as the Steam game, which are totally different. But so $20 regular price on the PSN. No, absolutely not. Not even, no question, not worth it. So $12.99 is regular price on Steam. Still not worth it. Like, no. The game takes 2 to 3 hours to complete. And even at $13, there should be more gameplay than that. There should be more game than that. And there should be more gameplay than that. I'm sorry, but moving a cursor around and clicking several dozen times per chapter, and there's, I don't know, 10, 12 chapters. No, it's not good enough. Not for $13, not for $20. So, that being said, it is a relatively easy 3-hour platinum for those trophy hunters out there, or 1,000 gamer score for you achievement hunters. But honestly, no, this game's not worth the price. Not worth the price of entry. Wait for a sale on this one. I mean, and I'm talking like more than half off on PSN, and at least half-ish off on Steam. $7-8 max is what I would pay for this game. This was disappointing. It really was. This was a dud. And like like I said, I've never played an FMV, so I wanted to like this game, and I love horror games. I love horror movies. I like psychological thrillers too. So I was like, yeah, this is perfect. No, it wasn't. And you know what? Now that part's done, I just want to talk about something real briefly here. Why is it that when I ate, now I'm not going to do it now because I've already done this part, but why was I sitting on the pot eating my peaches? Why? Why, John? Why do you sit on the toilet while you eat? That's gross, man. Alright, so anyway, that's the review. It's not worth $20. It's not even worth $13. Wait for a sale. If you really just love FMVs, you're weird. Maybe the rest are better, but this one sucked. Don't even bother. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. And I'm just saying, you know, that red subscribe button, it's looking a little sus down there. Make sure you hit it if you want to see more content like this. We are in the middle of Terrortober, so we're playing some horror games on the channel for the rest of the month. If you want to check that out, there will be a card somewhere on the screen for one of our other Terrortober series. So check that out, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. We very much appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next series.